All right, y'all. Sorry about the lighting. It's really dark in here, but I'm going to give you some signs you are chosen by God to pick up where your karmic family and your karmic friends left off. Primarily your karmic family and your ancestral bloodline, because what's going on is that you were meant to break the cycle that they were not strong enough to break. So you're the one that God chose to enter into this family, to enter into this, um, bloodline that you feel you don't belong. But the reality is you're there for a reason, even though it's going to be very uncomfortable. You might ask, why? Why me? Why does God want this? Why is this? The answer is because the second God made you, he crafted you to be really, really special. And there's people out there that say that God loves everyone, right? Which is true. And he loves all of us as if he loves each of us as much as all the grains of sand in the world, which is true. But sometimes God creates somebody and he just wants them to be a little bit extra special. And it's not about favoritism. It's that he creates people and he loves the people he makes. And he puts them in the world to live their life and to form relationships and to fulfill their life. But there's some people he makes that are just, he wants to make them, he just added an extra touch of something when he made us. He just added a little extra oomph, a little secret ingredient. And that doesn't mean he loves everyone else less or anyone else less. It just means that we were made to be a little bit, we're here to show God's goodness just like Jesus did. So anyways, y'all, to get on with this video. All right. Sign number 1 that you may be chosen by God is that you are clearly neurodivergent. Now, this isn't a one size fits all kind of thing. There are plenty of people who are chosen by God who aren't neurodivergent, but sign number 1, I think, is that you have something that other people think is weird. Meaning, maybe you have autism or Asperger's, or even though it's kind of outdated, but maybe you have ADHD, maybe you have CPTSD or PTSD of some kind, or you're very clairvoyant. You're clairvoyant, clairsentient. You got all your clairs, right? You're telepathic, maybe. There's just something about you that people, when they experience it from you, or if they found out that you actually have this, and they're the kind of people that are the ones to sit back and go, that's weird. That's how you know you're chosen. Sign number 1 is that you have some type of neurodivergence, which is actually very, very, it's a very special thing, and it's a beautiful thing too, to have, a different, to be different than other people, because most people view these things as weaknesses and that you're broken and that you're weird and that you can't fit in socially. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But think about it. The big picture is that you can't fit in socially because you're not meant to. God didn't make you to do that. So that's sign number 1. Number 2, people are constantly speaking snide comments on you, or remarks in front of you, or they're trying to put you down or compete with you on a constant basis. And I'm not just talking about, like, if you go into the store and an associate asks, like, do you need help with anything? And you're like, nope, just looking. And then, like, they keep pressing, and you have to kind of like say something to kind of like get them to go away. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who go out of their way to say something because you make them feel uncomfortable, because of your light, because of your confidence, your silent aura, your silent confidence. All right, that's sign number 2. And lastly, the third sign I can think of is that that you are chosen by God, you are set apart, and that you are different from other people, is that when you go in public, people's spouses and or boyfriend, girlfriend, relationship, whatever, they will stare at you. And I've experienced that myself, actually. Like, I go in public and this guy's girlfriend will be staring at me, and then he'll give her that look like you're staring at him too long or something like that. Or you know, a married person is looking at me really, really hard, and like the husband notices, and I'm like, oops, I'm not trying to do nothing, I'm just mind my own business. And they know that, like, the other party knows that, but people stare at you a little bit too long because you can be ugly. Like, I consider myself to be I love myself and I have a really good amount of self-esteem as I've built it up over the years, but I'm not much, I consider myself to be somewhat ugly. Like, I'm not that much of a looker, okay, in terms of body and face, but people will still stare at me because of the light you have. And, we struggle with being perceived because, especially if you're autistic or you have Asperger's, we struggle with, we don't like being perceived and being looked at and people thinking about us because we're weird or we're different. The reality is, yeah, we're different and maybe we come off as weird, but that's no surprise. The most neurotypical people out here have some weird mannerisms about them. But since they're neurotypical and they associate with other neurotypical people, those weird traits are not considered weird. But when we walk in the scene, us chosen ones, and then we're immediately deemed as weird because of our, how we look or the way we walk or the way we speak or how we're so kind, and people think we're fake. But the reality is our hearts are made of solid gold. King Midas didn't even have to touch our hearts. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's actually really cool, but it's people don't, it's, you can't force people to understand, and it's nothing that it's just how it is. So I had to yawn there, but it's hard because there are times as a chosen one when I'm feeling like I'm being too complacent and putting up with these people's shit. But the reality is that it's all part of the journey. It's part of the process. And God, he knew what he was doing. Look at the sunrise. It's coming up here. I'm just going to tilt the camera real quick and show you all this, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's about to come up right there. Yeah, it's another beautiful day. But, so anyways, y'all, this is our time. God is with you every step of the way. God is guiding me every step of the way. And not just God. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. You're still a chosen one. The thing is that all our steps that we take are divinely guided by the universe. There goes a bird right here. There's like birds everywhere. Nature. That's another thing, is nature will like you. There'll be animals coming right up to you. And it's crazy, but you're here for a purpose, and everything we do is divinely divinely guided, I guess. God has, the universe is in alignment with God, and we are, by default, we are in alignment with the universe. Now you may not believe this if you're watching this, but I firmly believe that God provides everything. Even when we work these jobs we hate, and the people treat us like trash, and we try to be good and just help others, but it's not reciprocated, and we're misperceived and misunderstood and just called weird, and it's like it's all part of the plan. Yeah, it's tiring and exhausting, but I will always have a firm belief that God will always provide. He will always inspire me to do something to keep my well-being going forward, moving. Or he will always inspire me to take some sort of action to help myself in a time of trouble. Where most people out here, they gotta work 9 to 5s. They gotta go to work. They gotta have a relationship. They gotta have a girlfriend. They gotta have a boyfriend. They gotta get married. They gotta, be the normal. They gotta do the rinse repeat cycle that their parents taught them and that their grandparents and their ancestors have done. But guess what, chosen one? We're here because we're meant to break that cycle of rinse and repeat. And we will. We will do that. I will do that. That's why I'm here, to let you know that this is the power you have that you never even knew, all right? They don't want you to know this. They want you to fall down. They want you to be weak like them. But no, rise on a higher vibration, all right? You already are, but I'm saying is that they'll do things in your life to get you to lower that frequency to where you'll feel like them. You'll feel like shit. You'll be like everyone else. But the reality is that, yeah, you may be doing things other people are doing. You may be part of the world, but you are not of the world. You're on the world, but not of it. You're in your family, but you are not your family. Does that make sense, y'all? All right? You're in society, but you're not part of it. And that's why they think you're weird. All right? So that's all. That's all the message I have for today. As always, please, God bless and take care. Please subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you have a lot of power. All right, guys? Like, they don't want you to know this. Peace out and take care.